take the time to humble yourself, to write down some questions about, what it is you want to know, what it is you want to learn, and then figure out how to ask search engines, how to ask Reddit, how to ask YouTube these questions so that you can get the answers from the people that have already given this information for free. Put you in the right position to find that information so that you can gradually teach yourself how to do it, because honestly, there is no better teacher than experience. And if you learn things through experience, you'll be a lot more better equipped to handle real life situations than somebody who's sat behind a desk and has only learned things in theory. All right, what's going on, everybody? Tuning into another episode of Developing Apex Brands with your boy, Dwayne. I'm sitting here at my home office, so a little bit different setup than usual, but this is where I'll be continuing to shoot the rest of my videos going forward. So as you can see, pretty cool desk setup. Got my laptop, got my second screen, my tweeter, got a TV for miscellaneous things, watching tickers, watching the news, playing video games. As you can see, I also have my mic set up for voiceovers and recordings of multiple different sorts. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about how do I figure something out, or how do I progress in a career field, or how do I progress in a certain market. And the easiest way for me to tell you is to pursue the information. We now live in the technological age. Everything is available to you right at your fingertips. If you have a cell phone or if you have access to the internet, you can pretty much teach yourself how to do anything. In this country, we've had one model for a very, very long time, and that's been the standard traditional education model. You go to kindergarten, you go to first grade, all the way through 12th grade. Then you go to a 4-year university. If you have any additional schooling years that you need to put in, whether you're going to get a master's degree or to get a PhD, or if you're getting a law degree, something of that nature. That's always been the traditional model. And in some cases, a lot of industries will still require for you to do that. If you want to be a lawyer, you're going to have to go to law school. You're going to have to pass the bar so that you can be a legal operating lawyer. If you want to be a doctor, you do have to go through all of the necessary steps in order to become a doctor, which does require traditional schooling. But then you have entertainment and a lot of different other markets and career fields that don't require for you to go to a 4-year university. And a lot of people believe that that's what you have to do. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of universities do have programs for things that can get you into certain fields, but take videography, for instance. I don't have any formal or traditional education in this field. Everything that I've taught myself through trial, tribulation, and through countless hours of browsing through message boards, going through different websites and different links, and spending hours watching YouTube videos. That's how I got into this industry. And that's how a lot of other people that I know have gotten into this industry. My boy Kenny got into the industry that way. He was shooting music videos for his brother, and he was the best in the area, the easiest to work with, quickest turnaround time, so people started to work with him. No traditional education. I've actually spoken with him before, and he's talked about going to school, and he just decided against it because he was making money already in the field doing what he loved without the education. Now, some people believe, a certain level of education will give you a certain level of access. So without that education, you're barring yourself from certain plateaus or, certain rooms. That may be true. That may have been true, a couple of years ago, but I do believe that any successful business owner or CEO, and they're trying to run a business successfully and innovate, they're more so looking for innovators, people who are goal setters, go-getters, people who actually set, a goal and a task for themselves, and they actually execute on that goal. They're not so much worried about credentials, because credentials are just things on a piece of paper that said something that you did, and you're only as good as your last victory. So I would say go out and start searching things on the internet. Tell you more about myself. So, I went to college to be an MBA student. Quickly realized that I hated business in the sense of doing economics and, accounting and things like that. I would rather just get somebody else to do it. So that wasn't something that I was really interested in. And then once I figured out that I wasn't truly interested in that, I really figured out that I wasn't truly interested in the education portion of the college experience. So I was more so into, growing connections and partying, just like any other kid. But I just really didn't know what I wanted to do. So I, stopped doing MBA programs and business administration. And I went into sociology. Why? Because it was probably one of the easiest career fields or one of the easiest curriculums that I could take in order to maintain my eligibility for running track. So I drug my ass all through 4 years of college and then got out. And once I got out and was presented with the reality of the world, then I started to realize, okay, well, I need to do something that I actually love and that I'm going to be able to spend countless hours of my time on, because that's what a lot of people spend the majority of their time doing, is working throughout the week. So, I got into graphic design. I was a quote unquote rapper back in the day. So I thought I could, rap, and my music was pretty decent, but I was not built for that industry. So I reeled it back in on the music side, and I was always intrigued and curious of the other side of the camera, the guys who put together the music videos, the guys who put together the marketing materials and the graphic design work and stuff like that. So I was like, hey, well, it's not too far off. It's still a creative avenue. Still will allow for me to, utilize my creativity in the way that I think in my career path. So I decided, hey, why not? Let me get into graphic design. So, I had already paid for a 4-year university. I didn't have any money. I was a broke college student, just graduated, no job opportunities in a career field that really had no real world value, to be completely honest with you. So I didn't have the money to want to go back to school or the want to take out more loans, because I already had student loans that I'm still paying to this day. So what did I do? I became resourceful. I told myself, well, this is something that I want to do. This is something that I'm not going to give up on. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to, reach the goal to be a graphic designer. So I spent countless hours on YouTube, doing tutorials and looking at how-tos and looking at, different things that people have built and showing you the process. I went to Reddit. Reddit is an amazing resource. If you're not familiar with it, it is a message board site where people come as members and they impart their knowledge. They give people the ability to ask them questions. They, pose questions for problems that they've had, and people come and they help. And it's basically a community based on pretty much anything that you can think of. You just type in the search bar, whatever, topic or question you may have, and 9 times out of 10, the problem that you have is going to pop up on Reddit. So, that's one thing. Go to a search bar, whether you're going to Google, whether you're going to Bing, and just type in Reddit. And then your question, and then Reddit. That'll take you to a message board. Also, search engines again. Use Google, use Bing. Any type of search engine that is credible, that's going to be able to, crowdsource and list you information on the things that you want to learn. Just type things in. Think of questions that are going to give you the answer that you want. So if you want to learn how to, let's just say you want to take the background out of a picture in Photoshop, just go to Google, type in how to remove background Photoshop, and I guarantee you there's going to be 2 pages worth of tutorials of different individuals showing you how to remove a background from a picture in Photoshop. It's really not that hard. You just have to ask yourself, what questions do I need to ask? And a lot of times, we don't know the things that we don't know, right? So we do need to be thinking proactively and asking ourselves, okay, what questions should I be asking? And what are some things that I probably need to figure out so that I can know what I don't know in order to get this thing done? And it's a rabbit hole. It's going to take you time, but again, there are resources out there. There are people out there that want to help you. And the information is out there. Real estate, you can go to different real estate pages. People have information on wholesaling. They have information on short sales. They have information on, test questions for if you want to become a broker and you need to get your license. If you want to become a pilot or you want to get into aviation, there are going to be tutorials on how, you can, fly IFR, I believe it's called. They'll teach you how to fly IFR. Give you test prep questions for you to prepare yourself for flight school. Anything that you want to know. Even different colleges have online resources. I know Harvard, MIT, A lot of the Ivy League schools, they have free online programs that'll, take you through a one-on-one class. And from what I believe, I don't know if it's still this way, but it used to be where, after you've taken that course and you learn the information, you can actually pay to take an online test. And if you pass that test, you get a certification for that course. So it's not the same thing as a credit, towards a degree, but at least is a certification that comes from a credible, Ivy League university or college that you can then put on resumes to show that, yes, I do have some know-how about, this information. Or you can, feel good in the fact that, okay, I've been solidified in knowing that I know this information. So now I know I can confidently implement it into what I'm personally doing with my own brand. So, I've been doing this since 2012, and I had to teach myself how to do Photoshop, how to do Illustrator, how to do Premiere Pro, how to do After Effects, how to edit photos in batch in Lightroom instead of going one by one and taking hours upon hours upon hours of doing it in Photoshop, because Photoshop was the first program that I learned. So I wanted to do everything in that. But you have different scenarios where different programs are better suited for that scenario, as opposed to if you want to just hone down in on one specific edit. You can still do it in Lightroom, but you might want to throw it over into Photoshop so that you can do, skin edits or, remove blemishes in a more controlled environment. All of these different things I personally learned on my own and with the help of individuals who were willing to impart their knowledge on me. But I didn't have to go into a brick and mortar university or college and pay these people thousands of dollars in order to learn this information. Again, we live in a technology age and information is free. So if you're in an industry where, again, it requires for you, if you want to become a doctor, you want to become a lawyer, you want to become, anything that's going to require for you to have legitimate certification from a 4-year university, then by all means, definitely go to school. Definitely make sure you do it the right way, and definitely make sure you handle your business and get good grades so that you can be the best at what you do in that field. But a lot of other people like myself in the creative industries, if you're doing graphic design, photography, videography, if you're doing voiceovers, if you're doing print work, all of this stuff you can teach yourself how to do. You don't have to go to a 4-year university. You don't have to put yourself in debt. You don't have to, take a super large chunk of your, monthly savings and put it towards highly interest student loan debt that you're going to be paying back for the rest of your life. You don't have to do that to yourself, man. Take the time to humble yourself, to write down some questions about, what it is you want to know, what it is you want to learn, and then figure out how to ask search engines, how to ask Reddit, how to ask YouTube these questions so that you can get the answers from the people that have already given this information for free. Put you in the right position to find that information so that you can gradually teach yourself how to do it, because honestly, there is no better teacher than experience. And if you learn things through experience, you'll be a lot more better equipped to handle real life situations than somebody who's sat behind a desk and has only learned things in theory. So again, if you don't know something, remove the doubt, remove the obstacles, remove all of the clutter that you put in your way to prevent you from actually setting a goal that you can execute in order to reach your goal. Remove all your excuses, put that stuff to the side, and then start thinking on solutions on how you can figure out exactly what you want to do, and then use the internet to your disposal to make sure that you can get it done. If you like this video, please make sure that you like this video. Please make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Definitely comment below if you have any questions, concerns, comments of any sort. Also, make sure you turn on that bell for notifications. Again, I appreciate you all. My name is Dwayne, and thank you for coming to another episode of Developing Apex Brands.